What's going on, Dolphins? It's your boy Dillon. Got a couple things for you today. Obviously, Adam Gase had a press conference today. It's Friday. They had a practice. He had a press conference. So I got that for you. Also, there was an interview with Bobby McCain and Kenny Stills from yesterday that I missed. So I'll give you those as well. A couple short interviews for you. And as far as my side goes and the things that I have to report to you, really about the only thing is that it appears there have been reports and talks and Gase spoke about it that Ted Larson, our left guard, has a neck injury and is doubtful for Sunday. So yeah, there's another piece to our offensive line possibly not going to be available. Although at this moment it looks like that. It still looks like that Tunsil and Laramie Tunsil and Juwan James are going to be available for Sunday. But Adam Gase, said that it's going to be basically game time decision for those guys. So we will have to wait until Sunday, to see what the inactives are like and if they're going to be playing. Hopefully they are, because then if Ted Larson's out as well, then our offensive line at that point is scraps. It's scraps. It's the bare end of the roster. And Adam Gase didn't, he was asked if they were going to try and maybe sign an offensive lineman. Adam Gase said that he doesn't expect to for this week. Frankly, it's super unlikely that if we were to sign, even a veteran guy that's been in the league for a while, it's highly unlikely that we would sign him and he'd actually play on Sunday. He could be active and used as a last resort backup, but a couple days away from the game, it's not very likely that he would be a contributor. But he did say that they are going to reevaluate after this game, going into the 2 weeks, the week after the bye, and the following week, obviously preparing for the Colts game. So they're going to take that time, obviously let people heal up, get healthy, but then they will decide obviously on whether or not they need to make any moves or anything. So yeah, we'll see. That's obviously not very good if we're missing our entire offensive line, but hey, that's been the story of our lives this season, as we all know. So we just gotta roll with it. We'll see what happens, man. At this point, I would say that it's probably not a terrible idea to see if we can find some offensive line help, because go after this game, or obviously start evaluating now, see who's out there and whatever. I'm sure the personnel department is doing that, but figure out who's out there, who's available and stuff, because we're thinning out so much, we might just have to bring somebody in just for sheer lack of numbers. So yeah, man, they should definitely look into that and think about bringing somebody in without question, because it's just so frustrating, man, because yes, the defense had a couple bad games, but pretty much for the whole year they've been playing really well overall for the most part, and they picked it up last game. I have confidence in this defense and the players that we have on the defense. It's just that the defense is obviously going to struggle if the offense can't ever do anything. So, and the offense is not going to be able to do anything with an offensive line that is, you know, I mean, we don't even know who's going to be on it. You know, we don't even know who's going to be on it for Sunday, for this upcoming game. You know, and it's good we have our bye week coming up, so we'll have 2 weeks to rest and get people healthy. You know, hopefully, hopefully James and Tunsil are able to play, but aside from that, hopefully they get through the game all right too. You know, and then they can take their 2 weeks to get, you know, really healthy and be ready for down the stretch, man. But look, I mean, people want to bitch about the offense, and I get it, but people have to realize, man, these injuries are taking an extreme toll on us. Like, what do you expect? How do you expect Adam Gase to call plays, and, you know, how do you expect this team eventually, like, it doesn't matter how much depth you do have, because we even went into the season with pretty solid depth, you know, across the board, and it doesn't even matter. You know, if you lose half your team to injuries, you know, a good portion of which are season ending, and not only that, but are obviously, you know, major key contributors, then, you know, your team's gonna have a problem performing. I mean, it's just, you know, what can you do? Eventually you run out of people, and we've been running out of people. Adam Gase has said it several times now in the past couple weeks. We can't afford any more injuries. We are thin. We are, you know, he just said it today, you know, we don't have anybody else. If you've got a pulse, you're going to be up to play on that offensive line right now, and that's really it, man. You know, I've been saying it since the beginning, you know, since the problem started. You know, it's been the injuries, man. That's the number one problem with our season. And then aside from that, you know, I'm sorry, but the number two problem has been the bad officiating. Because even when we do overcome that stuff and the players execute and play well and stuff, they get fucked. Because the officials will call some ridiculous thing, or they just won't call blatant things on the other team. But, you know, I mean, I don't know. It's frustrating, but as I always say, you know, we just got to keep our heads up. We got to stay strong. We got to stay behind the team. And look, I guess part of it is the reason why I say these things is because I hope you guys realize that, you know, I hate it when people get, you know, so, like, super upset and emotional that they, you know, go on these tirades of, oh, we need to fire everybody, oh, Adam Gase sucks, oh, Matt Burke sucks, oh, all these people suck, blah, blah, blah. It's not that. Like, that's not the problem. I mean, again, don't get me wrong. There have been times where there was, like, you know, breakdowns in the defense and miscommunication, and there's been plenty of that on offense. There have been times where, you know, the guys have commit some pre-snap penalties that, you know, are just, there's no reason for it. They were legit penalties, and there's no reason for it. You know, so, but overall, if you look at the amount of penalties that were legit, they haven't been too bad. They haven't been too bad this season. You know, it's just the bad officiating in that regard that has, you know, affected us penalty-wise. But anyway, you know, so it's things that we don't have control over. You know, things that we just can't help. Our team, because look, man, we went into this season thinking that we stood a really good chance, you know, to make it to the playoffs with a really good record, possibly even, you know, fend off the Patriots in the division. Why? Because we had a really good roster across the board, right? Our starters, we had a really good starting lineup, and then we had solid depth. Well, now, not only are, you know, a third of our starters on IR, but, you know, our depth has been seriously, you know, torn through as well, you know, so it is what it is. But keep your heads up, guys. You know, and again, you know, stop. I hope that, you know, you guys don't, you know, just, I want you guys to take all factors into account and realize that it's not just, you know, these coaches and these players and stuff, you know, they're doing the best they can with what they have. We have to everybody has to play, you know, the cards that they're dealt. And, you know, even sometimes when it comes to, like, you know, there have been play calls that I've questioned, you know, why would you do that there? You know, at the same time, while I think there may be something better that they could have done, you know, or you know, whether it's with personnel moves, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter really what the fans think. I understand everybody wants to feel like they have an opinion that matters, but frankly, it really doesn't, because we're not the ones that are in those situations making those split-second decisions, right? We don't know. We don't have 10, 15, 20 years of coaching under our belts, right? We don't have all the information and data that they have at their fingertips when those decisions need to be made. So, you know, my point is that we are not, you know, or I will say that I am not, you know, qualified. I'm not qualified really to make those decisions. I can have my opinions and I can feel all kinds of ways about it, but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, they know what's going on and they are trying to make, I mean, look, they got jobs to fight for, right? They all want to win. Like, we just, as fans, it seems like we assume that, you know, they just don't give a fuck and, you know, they're just gonna fucking whatever. I mean, I can't imagine that anybody would think that, any fan would think that they, you know, that they're, you know, not trying to put good results out there. I mean, they're doing the best they can, man. And I think that Adam Gase is a really good coach. You know, I have been thinking recently maybe he should give play calling to, you know, his offensive coordinator, only because he's got so much to deal with as a head coach, and he really does need to be involved in both sides of the ball and stuff like that. So maybe he should just take a little off his plate. You know, whatever. I mean, that's his decision to make. Frankly, overall, you know, about at least, and I'm being kind of conservative here, but at least 75% of the time, you know, I like his play calling. And I like him as a head coach. So, you know, I don't think that's the problem. It's just this year we've been ruled. Last year was just a whirlwind of all kinds of crazy shit. This year it's been injuries primarily, you know, and it's been rough. It's been rough because we had a really good roster across the board, and, you know, we're at like half capacity, if that, you know. So anyway, heads up, guys, things are going to get better. I think we still do, you know, stand a chance in this game. You know, the team really does have to play the best game of their season if they're going to come out with a W. And if we come out with a W, more than likely it's going to be in a tight game. So we'll see. You know, the defense is going to have to keep us in it, and the offense is going to have to move the ball, man, and they're going to have to, you know, score some points. You know, they can't score nothing like they did against the Jets and expect to win. That's for damn sure. So we'll see what happens, but keep your heads up, guys. Things are going to get better one way or the other. You know, this season, I think there's still tons of games that we can win, especially after the bye, once we get guys healthy and stuff like that. So the season's not over. We still got a lot that we can do. And then going into next year, you know, we'll get into the draft. We'll pick up some players, and we'll get people healthy. We'll get people back off of IR, and next year will be a, you know, even better year as well. So stick with it. You know, don't get down. Don't get, you know, disheartened or, you know, upset and stuff like that. I know it's frustrating. I know we've been dealing with a lot for the past couple decades, but you got to stick with it, guys. You got to stay upbeat, and you got to keep pushing, man. So anyway, with that, I'm gonna send you off to these interviews. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want the alerts. Hit the like button. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comments section. Follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. My handle is on the end screen if you need to know how to spell it. And with that, I'm out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.
On TV. and go like, yeah, it'd be fun to go against them.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. You know, you see all the Hail Marys and all the crazy sidearm passes he makes on TV and stuff like that. So, you know, it's like I said, it's an exciting opportunity, and I can't wait, man. I want to see, you know, in person what he's all about, and I know he's one of the great ones.
Got some time in the slot on felt like old times there a little bit.
Yeah. You know, it felt good, but you know, just doing whatever I can for the team, man. We got to get a dub, and that's important, man. You know, we got guys that can do a lot, such as me, myself, Minka, TJ, and guys like like Torrey and guys that play all different kind of positions, and so I can go inside, go outside. Guys can play safety, play corner. You know, just a lot of being able to do more in this league is it'll keep in the league.
Being able to do what you guys did against the Jets, against Green Bay, would it validate even more what you guys did?
Yeah, man, we hope we can come out and have the same performance, you know, or even better performance. You know, I'm never going to go into a game, you know, second-guessing our defense, second-guessing ourselves. So we want to make sure that you know, we go in prepared and we come out. But the goal is to come out with a win, regardless how it happens, whether it's an ugly win, a pretty win, no matter what it is, a win's a win in this league.
Do you feel like a lot of what you all did Sunday is stuff that you can build on?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. We had 4 turnovers, 4 sacks, I believe. So that's stuff you can definitely build off of as a defense and come in and you know, get patted on the back for a day and then go back to work on that Wednesday. And like I said, it happens fast. It's a quick turnaround. So now we're ready for 12 and Aaron Rodgers you know, and the Packers. So it's like I said, we can go in with it gives us confidence, you know, in ourselves, and we know what we're capable of.
Do you feel like as a defense your best ball's ahead of you still?
100%, 100%. You know, we still haven't played our best ball. We still haven't played our best game. And even though after we had the turnovers and the sacks this week, it's a great standard, but we want to be above the standard.
Bobby, what's it like playing going to be a guy with that kind of confidence? You kind of mentioned the Hail Marys, time on the clock, or no matter how tight the window, he thinks he can execute the play.
Yeah, he can throw any ball in it. So as a DB, you know, you have to plaster, play your man tight, and keep your eyes on him because he does a great job scrambling out of the pocket. He does a good job on the move, throwing deep balls. He can do it all, man. He's special with his arm. He's got a special mind, and he's a special player. He's athletic. He can run around. So you know, we got to corral him and try to get it done.
So this was going to be probably a cold game anyway at 1 p.m., not 4:25, and maybe even colder.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little chilly, and it's gonna be a little chilly, you know. But we gotta go. We're out there for a purpose, we're out there for a job to do. It's gonna suck, but hey, at the end of the day, it's football. You know, if you ain't playing in the cold weather in December, in January, then you ain't worth a damn.
What's the coldest game you played in?
Pittsburgh, playoff wild card. Never played in a game that cold ever in my life. I was literally had snot bubbles freezing on my nose. So.
That's a good detail.
Yeah, the cold.
Nice visual.
Yeah.
And
for us, it's executing and getting first downs. I mean, obviously, you can't stay on the field if you're not getting first downs. You know, last week we did a better job not turning the ball over, but we got to execute, get first downs, and move the ball down the field. And when we're in the red zone, we got to get 6 points, not field goals.
how has this offense changed with Brock? It seems like you guys are doing less rollouts and movements and things of that nature.
I mean, I think you got to think about, you know, the game plan going in against the team that we're playing as well. You know, obviously Brock and Ryan are 2 different types of players, but also, you know, preparing for whatever the defense, you know, whatever holes we see in the defense. So, you know, I think he's done a good job. Obviously, you know, there's plays that we wish we could have had back, but, you know, we won a game last week. It was ugly, but, you know, we're on to the next one.
Did you ever get to play at Lambeau during your time with the Saints?
No.
First time?
Lambeau is one of the 3 stadiums I haven't played in.
The 2?
Other 2 are San Francisco and Oakland. And, yeah, no, it's exciting. You know, my pops played for the Packers, you know, for 5 years. So, you know, it's going to be, you know, pretty cool for me to go there. And I know he'll be there this weekend with my little brothers and stuff. So I'm excited, and it'll be a big game for us.
The photographers are right on top of the field.
I hope they have some good awareness. It'll be okay.
Play with Kenny in New Orleans?
I did.
Thoughts and memories of playing with him?
You know, I was a rookie, you know, when I came in playing with him, and just his ability to go up and get the ball in the air and make plays and put points, you know, on the board. We had a sick offense when I was there, so I was just able to learn from those guys, and you know, it's fun to watch them play.
Your pop share any stories from Lambeau?
I mean, we really don't talk football as much when he was in the league. But if you go on YouTube, there is a video of him kind of cheap shotting somebody after the play. Bears-Packers rivalry. So, we don't really talk too much about NFL stuff, but I'm sure he has some great memories.
He didn't cheap shot a wide receiver, did he?
No, I think it was like a fullback or a running back or something. You guys can check it out.
Will he be wearing a Dolphins hat in Lambeau Field?
I don't know. Maybe my little brothers will have some Dolphin stuff on, and they'll have his Packer stuff on. But there's no hard feelings there.
Who's he rooting for? He's not rooting for the Dolphins.
I mean, it's you never know.
It sounds like you do.
I mean, you never know. I think I definitely think he's rooting for the Dolphins, but he played there, and I'm sure they're doing something, for their guys. So maybe he'll have a split jersey, half Dolphins, half Packers.
Have you paid attention to the cheerleader who took a knee?
A little bit. Yeah, I saw a story. Trying to get more information and reach out to her and thank her for her courage and just kind of communicate and see if I can do anything I can to help her.
And we talked to the defensive players about what Aaron Rodgers does. What is a opposing quarterback at offense? What kind of pressure can that put on an opposing offense?
For us, that sometimes you get put in a situation where you want to keep that quarterback off the field. We play, a quarterback similar to that, in Tom Brady, and you're trying your best as an offense to make sure you're putting points on the board every time and making sure you're keeping that ball as long as possible.
Your thoughts on how Tuesday went?
Tuesday.
With the midterm elections.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just saw today on my phone that there's a possibility for some recount stuff. So there's still some hope, but wish things have gone a different way. But I guess like I said, there's still some hope.
Well, nationally, obviously, you had some issues with the president a couple years ago. Were you encouraged by the direction the country's taken?
Yes. Yeah, I was encouraged. I'd hope. Like I said, I guess we'll see, what comes from these recounts if they happen. But, yeah, no, I'm definitely encouraged by the amount of people that responded to me and, what I was doing, trying to, give out tickets to get people out to go out and vote. And, just the amount, from my friends and family and people that I've reached out to, people that are getting involved and using their voice.
It's going to go up to the game.
So Larson kind of doing some stuff on the side.
Yeah, I mean, he's struggled the last couple weeks, and we didn't do as much with him this week. I mean, he's going to be probably doubtful for the game. So we just got to get him some rest and get him recovered.
So is that Brindle, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We got to see what happens with the tackles too. So I mean, we got about 9 different lineups.
So Wesley Johnson also in the mix there for Larson's spot?
If you got a pulse, you're in the mix. We're out of guys.
Kiko Alonso, obviously he's having a very good season. I talked to him about how he takes care of his body. We always talk about weight, right? Like how he doesn't put any bad stuff in his body. It seems like Kiko is sort of similar to that in terms of sleep, nutrition, recovery. What are your observations about how he takes care of himself?
Well, training-wise, he's one of those guys that you always see around the weight room. You always see kind of doing the, activation type things, sports science type things where, he's always working on flexibility, Pilates, those type of, activities to keep his flexibility and, his eating. I mean, you never see him really eat anything that like I would eat, so he does a great job of like being disciplined with all that kind of stuff. I'm sure from where he was when he was younger compared to now, it's probably light years different.
What do you eat?
Pizza and I'm trying to think what else. Rice Krispie treats. That's about it. Candy. It's not good.
It's the young man's diet.
It's not good.
To keep going on Kiko, the mentor role that he has with Jerome and Raekwon, having a veteran presence to help those two younger guys out there.
Well, it's been interesting to watch those 3 guys kind of work together and the 2 young guys grow up. I mean, with Raekwon being here for a year, that has helped him almost like help bake, but at the same time he has somebody else to lean on. And I think the communication really is what I've seen really develop over time since we started in the spring. And I think it's just three guys that love playing football and are able to sit in a room and talk about what they're thinking about doing and how they want to communicate some things, and how they can work through a game when a team's doing something they got to make adjustments.
I got just one question on Rizzy. Yeah, why not? I think the special teams group has been pretty good. What do you think makes him a good coach?
I think, well, it starts with the experience he has. I mean, it was, when I got this job, it was nice that there was a guy that was here that was a veteran coach that had been around in multiple systems within the organization. And his relationship with our players, knowing those guys so well, he's able to put them in the right spots. Like, he uses guys to the max, but whatever their potential and their max ability is, he uses it all. And he knows how to, whether it be simplify or complicate things for the other team. And he does a good job of using that group and whoever it's been, because we've had some moving pieces and we've had injuries to where he's had to kind of shake some guys and move them around and retrain them on the fly. And I think his communication's off the chart with how him and Move do things. They're able to split things up, and there's a lot of trust between those two to be able to do what they do. And it seems like every year there's somebody that you almost think, like, this guy might go to the Pro Bowl. I mean, they always seem to have somebody that you never expected, like last year with Drake. I mean, he was having an unbelievable year before he basically started playing offense all the time. So they've always seemed to find one guy that you don't expect to really be that big of an impact player, and they end up being an impact player.
How would you evaluate the progress of the two rookie tight ends?
I think they've done well. They've gotten better. I know everybody wants to look at stats and all that type of things, but Mike's gotten better in a lot of different areas. I think Durham, he constantly is improving. We see a lot of things in practice that we don't actually get an opportunity to do in games, or we're not getting the right coverages. So really, you just got to pay attention to the type of things. When we're doing it out here and we see that type of growth, we just know it's, at some point, either this year or down the road, it's going to be good for us as an organization, because I think those two guys can help us for a long time.
A little bit of an odd one, but guys always have their routines before games and whatnot. What's the most unusual one you've seen in your career?
I don't know. I don't pay attention. I mean, the only one that I ever really was associated with was when Peyton would do it. Like, when 2012, when he first got there, we kind of started doing his throwing routine, but he had to do less throws than what he did. I mean, when him and Marvin and Reggie and those guys were out there, I mean, it was like 100 throws. I think we were down to like 14 or something like that before the game. But then we quit going out, because it was like every place we went, it was like a circus for him. He was like, done. After like 5 games, he started doing something different, staying in, and then just going out.
How did Charles Harris's body respond to his practice yesterday?
It was good, because he was actually able to do some stuff today, and he looks different. Last week when I saw him kind of doing some of those drills, I was like, how far off is he? And then when I saw him this week, you could tell he's confident, he's bursting. You're seeing he looked really, really what we want him to look like. So I think we're close. I think we just got to keep monitoring and make sure that we don't jump the gun.
You anticipate making any roster moves on the O-line this weekend?
I haven't even thought that far. You're talking about like after this game?
No, I'm talking about just like getting the extra body. You said you guys were.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we haven't really worried about that right now, because I think we have enough guys to get through this game. And then after that, we just got to reassess to see where we are injury-wise.
Alright guys, you've reached the end of my video. This is the end of the interviews. I hope you enjoyed those. I hope you enjoyed my show. Also, as a whole, if you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Make sure you hit the like button. And please share your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. I love interacting with you guys. It's for you. This is for you. You know, and also follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. It's on the end screen. My Twitter handle is on the end screen if you need to know it. And with that, guys, I'm out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.